Good morning, all. Today's topic is acceptance sampling in SQC, statistical quality control. So, acceptance sampling is a technique of deciding whether to accept the whole lot or not based on the number of defectives from a random drawn sample. Okay, so it is a different technique uh, in the statistical quality control. So, in this technique, deciding whether to accept the whole lot or not based on the number of defectives from a random drawn sample. Suppose if you are taking 100 bags of rice, that is example. So it is widely used in buying food products such as rice, wheat, or etc. Suppose if you are taking 100 bags of rice, then randomly you are taking the or collecting the samples from 20 bags or 15 bags out of 100. So you have to decide the number of defectives found uh, found in the 15 bags. Suppose in from 15 bags, you are found you found only one or two defectives in the 15 bags, then that is final. So from 15 bags only you are getting defects or some problems in the rice. Only 2 bags, remaining all are good. Then you are decide. Then you decide these are all quality products. Okay, so suppose you found more than 5 bags or 6 bags from 15 bags defects in the 5 bags out of 15 bags, 15 bag sample, then automatically there is a chance of defect products, number of defect products are more. Okay, so it is based on completely randomized checking. Okay, so 100 bags are not tested. Okay, suppose there is a lot of bags. Okay, so all of you know, so 100 and 200 and 300 and 1000 bags of rice are there. So we are not checking all the bags. It is not possible in all cases. So that's why randomly you have to pick up 20 or 30 or something depending upon the size. So in case of 1000 bags, you have to collect more number, and in case of 500 bags, less number you are selected, and 100 bags out of 100 you are selected only 3 or 4 bags randomly. So randomly picks. Okay, so on that judgment, then you have to take the decision. Okay, so depending upon the number of defectives you have to found in the selected sample, you have to finalize whether it is a good product or whether it is a bad product. Okay, so before buying, the random samples drawn from the bags of say rice are tested. If the quality of sample drawn looks good or free from defects, then according to the requirement, the entire bag or part of it can be brought the process of acceptance sampling through operating characteristic curve. So this process is done through, the sample is done through operating characteristic curve, OCC. It is simply called as OCC, operating characteristic curve, OCC curve, it's simply called as. Okay, so depending upon the defects found in the sample, then we have to accept that product or that item or not. Okay, that's why it is called as acceptance sampling. So acceptance sampling is purely based on the number of defectives in the randomly selected sample, randomly drawn sample, not all the products. Okay, so you are not checking all the bags, you are only checking some number of bags in the total lot, and then in that sample, suppose you are taking 15 or 20 bags, you found number of defectives is more, then you reject that lot and you are getting only 2 or 3 defects in the bags out of 15 sample size, then you are accepted the lot of bags lot. Okay, so it's completely based on sampling. Okay, so that's why it is called as acceptance sampling. Okay, then operating characteristic or OCC. So operating characteristic or that is called as OCC. The graphical relationship between percentage defect in the lots being submitted for inspection and the probability acceptance is termed as operating characteristic curve of a particular sampling plan. Okay, first you understand the concept from the graph. So actual percentage of defectives are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we are deciding we determine the percentage of defectives, that means acceptance number. Okay, so probability of acceptance percentage 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, and C equal to 1, that is acceptance number is 1, and N equal to 50, that is sample size. Okay, so suppose the number of defectives are very low, so then we acceptance percentage is high. Okay, so when the percentage of defectives are low, then you are accepting more number. So just to see this, so acceptance number percentage of defectives is only 1, then you are accepting 100%, and the number of percentage of defectives is 2, then in this way the number of defectives are 9, then the acceptance or a probability acceptance is very low, under 10%. So in this range. Okay, so 10% of defectives are there in the sample size, then you are accepting probability is very low. So suppose if the percentage of defectives is only 1, then your percentage of probability acceptance is high. So that means vice versa. The percentage of defectives is very low, then probability of acceptance percentage is high. When the actual percentage of defectives is high, then your probability acceptance percentage is low. Okay, that is inverse proportion. Okay, now inverse relation. Okay, so that is represented in the OCC. Okay, from OCC graph we have to find out the percentages which are accepted sampling. So the graphical relation between percentage defectives in the lots being submitted for inspection and the probability acceptance is termed as operating characteristic of a particular sampling. Okay, so you are converting that acceptance sampling into you are representing that acceptance sampling within the graph, then it will be called as operating characteristic of a particular sampling plan. Okay, then it gives a clear picture about the probability of acceptance of lot for various values of percent defectives in the lot. Okay, so it's give a clear picture about probability of acceptance of lot for various values of percentage defectives in the lot. So in 1% percentage of defectives, then how much you are accepting, and percentage of defectives is 2, and then how much you are acceptance. Okay, so depending upon this one, this will be considered. Okay, so then there is a clear picture about acceptance sampling. Okay, so in this way we give clarity about acceptance sampling, probability of acceptance. Okay, so the probability of acceptance of a lot is high for low values of actual percentage decrease, and it is low for high values of actual percentage defectives. Okay, so already I told you, if it is high, then another one is low, and first one is high and another one is low, and first one is low and another one is high. Okay, so depend upon this. So construction of OC curve. Then how you construct OC curve? So to develop a sampling plan for acceptance sampling, an appropriate OC curve must be selected to construct an OC curve. An agreement has to be reached between the producer and the consumer on the following 4 points. Okay, so to develop a sampling plan. Okay, so suppose if you want to develop a sampling plan for acceptance sampling, an appropriate OC curve must be selected to construct an OC curve. An agreement has to be reached between the producer and the consumer on the following 4 points. So suppose if you want to construct a OC curve, okay, so the OC curve is completely depending upon what are the terms and conditions which are already agreed by the producer and the consumer. Okay, so before you construct OC curve, then you understand what is the agreement in between producer and the consumer. Depending upon that agreement, then you have to construct OC curve. Okay, so that is very, very important. So depending upon the terms and conditions in between the producer and the consumer, you have to follow what are the terms and conditions in between producer and consumer while you are constructing a OC curve. Okay, that's very, very important. So it is condition based. Okay na? So construction of OC curve is purely based on the conditions which are already agreed by the producer and the consumer. Okay, so what are the conditions? These are the 4 important conditions while preparing while preparing OC curve. Okay, so first condition. So what is the first condition is acceptable quality level, that is simply called as AQL. So acceptable quality level. So this is the maximum proportion of defectives that will make the lot definitely acceptable. Okay, so this is the maximum proportion of defectives. So AQL is simply represented as maximum proportion of defectives that will make the lot definitely acceptable. So how many defectives are maximally accepted, that will be treated as acceptable quality level. Okay, the maximum number of defectives you have to found. So the maximum number of defectives found. So how many defects are found, then you are accepting that lot, the maximum number it is. Okay, if suppose if you are accepting 10 defects out of 100 bags, that is the maximum number. Okay, so maximum number of defectives you found in the 100 bags. Then suppose if in our assumption, for example, so there is 10 number of defectives. Suppose you are also accepted 10 number of defectives, it is okay for you, then it is a maximum number. Okay, so that is called as acceptable quality level. Okay, or it is also represented in the percentage also. Then lot tolerance percentage defective, LTPD. Okay, lot tolerance percentage defective, LTPD. This is the maximum proportion of defectives that will make the lot definitely unacceptable. So if suppose you are ready to accept 10 number of defectives out of 100 bags, but it is crossed. Okay, or you are not accepted. So up to 10 number you are not ready to accept. Suppose if you want to only 1 or 2 defectives out of 100 bags, then you simply reject that lot. Okay, that is lot tolerance percentage defective, LTPD. Okay, so this is the maximum proportion of defectives. That means the buyer only accept 1 or 2 defectives out of 100 bags, but it is crossed. The number of defectives are crossed to more than 2. Then you unaccepted the lot, that is lot tolerance percentage defective. Then producer risk. Okay, so that is alpha. This is the risk the producer is willing to take the lots of quality level. AQL will be rejected. even though they are acceptable, usually sigma equal to 5%. Suppose if you are ready to accept it 10% in general, the defectives percentage is 10% if you are ready to accept it. But in sometimes producer are ready to take the lots 5%, okay, more than 10%, then he ready to take up to 5%. 5%. That means 15%. Already there is a 10% standard, and after that the producer also ready to acceptable defective percentage is 5% additional to the regular percentage, then total 15%. Okay, just I want to try to understand in a better manner this concept. Okay, so then a consumer risk beta, this is the risk the consumer is willing to take, that lots of the quality level LTPD will be accepted even though they are actually unacceptable, usually beta equal to 10%. So consumer also, from consumer also there is a risk. So the consumer is willing to take the lots of quality level LTPD will be accepted. So LTPD is acceptable in general. So that means lot tolerance percentage defective up to that percentage, the consumer is ready to take the risk and also accepted the lot. Far behind, even though they are actually unacceptable, usually 10%. So the 10% is the maximum level. So 10%, suppose the percentage of defectives are crossed 5%, then the consumer opinion is changed, because the percentage of the defectives is very high. So from the consumer's point of view, he always wants without any defects in the product. Okay, so that's why if the percentage is 10%, it is the defective percentage is 10%, that is very, very high, then the acceptance level of the consumer is very low. So that is consumer risk. Okay, so 1 or 2% is okay, but direct the percentage is 10, so it is it is very, very high. That's why the consumer doesn't want to buy this product. Okay, so these 4 is very, very important while constructing the OCC curve. Okay, so I hope all of you understood these 4. Then percentage of defectives, so 20%, 60%, 100%. Consumer risk B equal to beta equal to 10%, AQL equal to 20%, and LTPD equal to 60%, and probability of acceptance, this one on x-axis we are taking percentage of defectives P, and on y-axis we are taking probability of acceptance, okay, on y-axis, and consumer risk is 10%, beta is 10% in the previous explanation. Then producer's risk is also 10%. Okay, so 20%, 60%, 100%. So this will be considered as producer's risk. Okay, so this is called as consumer's risk 10%. Okay, from this point to this point. So AQL equal to 20% and LTPD equal to 60%. So AQL 20% means, so this is the indicated with 20%, so and LTPD is 100%. So that's why up to this one. So from this graph, we understand, so 20% is the defectives percentage, so the probability of acceptance is very high. Suppose the defectives are percentage of defectives are very 100%, then the consumer risk is very low, and also it is not acceptable by the consumer. Okay, so the percentage of acceptance is very low. Okay, so in this way we are representing all the things in the graph. Okay, right. So after that, sampling plans. Okay, so sampling plans. Next topic is sampling plans. In this topic, the second one. So sampling plans. Based on the number of samples drawn for taking accept reject decisions, the sampling methods are used. Okay, so you are accepting the lot or you are rejecting the lot. You take the decisions both on both. Then you are using sampling techniques. So there are four methods of acceptance samplings. So first one is single sampling plan. Second one is double sampling plan. Third one is multiple sampling plan. And fourth one is sequential sampling plan. Okay. So first one, simple sampling plan. So simple sampling plan means a lot is accepted or rejected on the basis of a single sample drawn from that cost. Okay. So from total lot, you are only selecting a single sample. Okay, out of 100 bags or out of 200 bags, out of 300 bags. Okay, but you are collecting only one sample from total lot. So if the sample is good, then you are accepting the lot. Is there any problem in the law in the single sample? Then you should not take any another option. Directly reject that sample. Okay, so sorry, directly reject that product, whatever it means, product or something. So that is very, very important. So that's why this is very crucial method. Suppose, is there any defect found in one product, then the total lot will be rejected. Okay, so that's why that is very, very important task in the single sampling plan. So you remember that. Then second one, double sampling plan. So double sampling plan, in the name itself, there is a meaning. So if it is not possible to decide the fate of the lot on the basis of first sample, a second sample is drawn and the decision is taken on the basis of the combined results of first and second sample. So the in this one, they clearly explain double sampling. So if it is not possible to decide the fate of the lot on the basis of first sample, so in before one, we are totally completely dependent upon only single sample. The decision is also made by the result from the single sample. But in this plan, they are not only completely based on first sample and they go for second sample also. A second sample is drawn and the decision is taken on the basis of the combined results of first and second sample. So second sample result is also considered based on first sample and second sample, combined both the results and finally come to conclusion. Okay, so this is very, very important. So double sampling plan. Okay, then multiple sampling plan. So multiple sampling plan means a lot is accepted or rejected based upon the result obtained from several samples of parts drawn from the lot. Okay, suppose if you consider third one, multiple sampling plan. In this multiple sampling plan, a lot is accepted or rejected based upon the result. So obtained from several samples. So it is quite opposite to the first two plans. So it is complete one. I think it is a complete one. So a lot is accepted or rejected based upon the results obtained from several samples drawn from the lot. So several samples are drawn. Okay. So that is very, very important from the lot, and finally you come to conclusion based on the result. Okay. Then sequential sampling plan. So sequential sampling plan means item by item analysis. So item by item analysis, that is another important one. Sequential sampling plan. So sequential sampling involves increasing the sample size by one part at a time till the sample becomes large enough and contains sufficient number of defectives to decide intelligently whether to accept or reject the lot. Okay. So sequential sampling involves increasing the sample size. So in this model, the sample size will be increased by one part at a time till the sample becomes large enough and contains sufficient number of defectives to decide intelligently whether to accept or reject the lot. Okay. So in this one, they clearly said sequential sampling involves increasing the sample size. So it wants to increase the sample size. So increasing the sample size and one part at a time till the sample becomes large enough and contains sufficient number of defectives to decide intelligently whether to accept or reject the lot. So in this lot, we are getting sufficient number of defectives. Then it will be suggestible. Then we accept the product. Okay. So you accept the product or service. So that is sequential sampling plan. Okay. So sequential sampling involves increasing the sample size by one part at a time till the sample becomes large enough and contains okay. So to decide intelligently whether to accept or reject the lot. Okay. So in this way, where accept the sample or accept the product without any defects. Okay. So and also you save your money. Okay. So that is also very, very important. Okay. So this is about acceptance sampling. Okay. So sampling techniques is also important topic. Okay. So all of you are focused on that one. Okay. So